Hi, my name is Mollie Jackman. This is my dog Fletcher, who will not move off of the couch. I am currently in my second to last quarter of the Lindenwood MFA in writing. My emphasis is in poetry, and I work as a copywriter for Veterans United Home Loans and also as a freelance copy editor. Right now, my main focus on my freelance stuff is editing Amazon listings. So for a little background about my work history, I started off right out of undergrad as a student housing apartment complex manager. I didn't really like working in that industry, so I ended up becoming an office manager for this local mortgage company. From there, I ended up being promoted to a closing specialist about a year later, and I did that for a while. And then after I ended up losing a close friend of mine, I just kind of came to a realization that if I wanted to do writing for a living, I needed to take some steps to set myself up better to do that. So the first was applying for this MFA program, and the second was actually leaving this company that I really loved working for to get a job that was more marketing focused, and I became a leasing and marketing manager at another apartment complex in town. While I was working at that apartment complex, I started doing my freelance work, and within less than a year of working there, a writing position actually opened up at the mortgage company that I already worked for. So I applied for it, and I ended up getting it. So that is where I work now at Veterans United. And even though it was kind of a DIY career path for me, I definitely think that those choices helped me get where I am. And without having a marketing specific degree, I think sometimes you do have to get a little bit creative in how you go about getting those roles. In my copywriter role now, I write anything from billboard copy, magazine ads, flyers with information about VA loans. I've made some videos. I do all kinds of writing. I absolutely love the diversity that I get to write every day. It can be something simple like come get a VA loan from us, or it can be something really complex like telling home buyers all these tips about what to do and what not to do when buying a house. I think my experience in the mortgage industry before actually has really helped me, which is unexpected. I thought it was completely unrelated to what I wanted to do, and it turned out that that industry needed writers as well, and having the background there really helped me kind of get a leg up on other applicants, I think. One way that has been really helpful is that a lot of the kind of customer facing copy didn't really flow very well, and I was able to come in and clean it all up with the knowledge that I had of the mortgage industry before. So I hope that now the documents that needed to be updated are more borrower friendly and just are easier to read and give someone the full picture. But kind of to sum it up, my responsibilities there, we basically are a company located in Columbia, Missouri, but have satellite or branch offices all around the country. So I'm the only copywriter for those branch offices, and it's my job to be their voice in their community. So I write a little bit differently for each branch depending on kind of what their staff is like or kind of the vibe that they are trying to portray to their customers. And it's really fun to kind of learn all the different tones and how each of them wants to be portrayed. My freelance work is quite a bit different. It's focused more on editing, obviously. So what I do there is I take things that are already written by other people and I try to clean up the grammar if it needs it. I make sure there's no important information left out about a product that we're advertising, and I just try to organize them in the best way to make them more customer and benefit oriented. And I actually got the freelance job through a friend. I was very lucky. I didn't really have to look for the job at all. She used to work for this company and actually recommended me to take over her editing role. So I definitely cannot stress enough the importance of the connections that I've made through writing and through academia in getting jobs like this. And as far as the MFA itself goes in my career, I think the most valuable thing that the MFA on my resume shows an employer is just the initiative of bettering yourself, of wanting to keep learning. I think every employer is really looking for someone that is eager to learn. Usually, I think those people are great employees. As someone who's been a manager before, I can say that I love hearing that people want to learn. I like to know that they're interested in what they're doing and that they'll pick it up quickly. And I really think that the more that we're able to learn, we just build a stronger foundation to be able to keep learning and growing and developing new ways of creativity. For me personally, not career-wise, I feel like the MFA has really helped me reach a new level of self-confidence. I feel like the feedback that I've gotten and all of the specific commentary has really exposed me to new things. I've been exposed to new cultures through the classes that I've taken, and just I feel more well-rounded, more creative in different ways that I hadn't thought of before, and just more well-spoken after learning alongside so many other people in these courses. I also think that the courses in the MFA program here really provide a safe space for us to grow and learn and try new things without being torn down or anything. I've found the constructive criticism to be really helpful. Knowing when you need to change something, even if it's not perfect, nothing's ever perfect, but knowing that we need to change things, but that our work is still good, I think it just really boosts your self-confidence, which comes across in an interview for sure. Whether it's, talking confidently about your work or just speaking more eloquently because of the criticism that you've gotten or given to other people, that critical thinking that you have to use so often in this class, I think makes it much easier to respond to interview questions or problems that might arise in the workplace or anything like that. I also think it's really important that while a J school or marketing grad might have a really firm grasp on the business side of writing, I think that MFA students have a different relationship with language itself, which is really valuable, especially in a copywriting position like the one that I'm in now. It's helpful to have a new take, a different perspective, a different way to look at what you're saying. Maybe, somebody's using a word in an ad that doesn't sound right to you, and you might be able to provide a linguistic reason for that as opposed to just a marketing reason. My team at work talks a lot about marketing and what it means and the difference between something being really marketing or actually being creative. That being said, I do still write a lot of poetry on my own. I actually just got my first acceptance for publication yesterday, so that was a pretty cool moment. And it's nice to work in a setting where, your coworkers are excited and they know how important that is. So I'm really glad that I was able to get, a job with other creative types and that they understand kind of the struggle, I guess, but also the joys of it. And while I really appreciate having that team at work, it has been kind of a struggle for me personally to find a really strong writing community where I live. I don't know what the reasons for that are, but I will say I have found major support on social media. There is one group called Editors Association of Earth that I love, and another is called Writerinos. It's a crossover group for writers and fans of the podcast My Favorite Murder. I've actually made some really close friends that way who have been extremely helpful, giving me their portfolios to look at and helping me format mine for freelance work. So definitely don't discredit how helpful social media can be when you're able to find those kind of niche groups that really fit your interests, and I think you'll probably find some connections there like I did. Obviously, I haven't even graduated yet, so I don't consider myself to be any type of expert, but I will say I wish someone had told me a really long time ago I always thought I didn't want to write for a job because I thought I would burn myself out, or I thought I would use up my creativity and I wouldn't have anything left for my own writing. And looking back at that now, I just, like, if somebody wants to play basketball professionally, nobody tells them stop practicing or use up all your talent. And I feel the same way about creativity and the same way about writing. And I really wish someone had told me this, in high school or something, so I could have done everything differently, but maybe I wouldn't be where I am now if that was the case. But I just think now, if I can write all day for my job, it might not be the type of creativity that I want to publish under my own name, but it's still writing. I still get to work with words every day, and I'm constantly improving. And I don't think I'm going to use up my creativity. I think it's just like any other skill, and the more you practice and the more time you spend doing it, the easier it's going to become for you. So don't think that you're going to use it up or wear yourself out by getting, a career in writing, even if your passion is poetry or writing a novel. We all have to pay the bills. So if you can get time in writing while you're doing that, I think it's the best thing that you can do.